Hi, this is Kevin Garlington from TotalTennisDomination.com, and in this video I'm going to show you the key points for hitting a great return of serve. So in this we're going to learn how to manage your footwork, how to manage your swing, and most importantly the racket face angle at contact. So there's a couple of different things that I want to talk about for the return. First of all, the two different styles of return. You have the topspin return and the chip return. What we're going to focus on in this video is the topspin return. And the first thing I want to talk about is what I think is the most important thing that you have to remember for any stroke, especially return, because you have less time to react to the ball, and you're going to be probably moving and reacting to whatever the server, wherever the server places the ball. So the number one thing you want to focus on is the racket face angle at contact. So what this means, again, I've talked about it in a lot of videos and I want to hit it home over and over again because it's by far, I think, the most important thing, is that at contact, we need to make sure that the strings are looking in the direction we want the ball to go. So many times you get caught up in like what the stroke looks like, which is important too, but when it comes down to it, what the racket's doing at contact is the most important thing. If you ever watch professional players when they're returning serve and you watch in a slow-mo, you will see them getting in the most like compromised positions where they're reaching across themselves or they're off balance. But the one thing that reigns true no matter what is the racket face angle at contact. So I want you to keep that in mind as we're talking through, going through all these things to make sure you have it right, that you have to maintain that no matter what, you have to have the racket face angle at contact correct. So let's get started. The very first thing I want to talk about, it's going to work from the ground up, is the footwork difference for the return of serve, especially when you're returning somebody's serve who has pace on it, okay? This video is more geared towards returning somebody's serve that can potentially ace you or force you to hit the ball that's very difficult, rather than someone's serve that's slow that you can kind of go up and hit a normal forehand. Now, with the normal forehand ground stroke, we're going to start here, that you always think about getting on your outside leg and then stepping if we have time, or hitting an open stance forehand. Those are two valid things. But when it comes down to return to serve, we change our footwork a little bit just to make sure that we have enough time. First of all, we want to start with a nice wide base. It's really important that, especially for the return to serve, we start with a little bit wider base than usual. You'll see this with all the best returners, how they have this very big wide base waiting. In the sense of having the wide base, they have a great foundation. You can see normally I recommend that your base be at least a racket length apart. Well, I'm going to extend this, and you almost want to get a racket and a half length apart. Now it's really important also, while you have this wide base, that you're on the balls of your feet. We don't want to be on the heels, okay? We want to be on the balls of the feet, ready to engage the ball. And the other part about having this wide base and having your footwork is the split step, the timing of your split step, which we're going to go over. It's really important that when we're sitting here waiting for the return, we time the split step correctly, and that the split step is going to be forward. This is also a difference in a lot of ground strokes, where we might have a standard split step where we're just standing still. For the return to serve, we want the split step to go slightly forward to give us some momentum, okay? Because we don't have the time to load the outside leg and then step into the ball, okay? So again, quick review. We want to have this nice wide base, feet wider than your racket's width, about a racket and a half. We want to have good suspension in the knees. We're bending, we're getting down nice and low. The next thing is we want to be on the balls of our feet, and we're going to have this little split step where we're going to go forward, okay? All we're going to do is go forward. The next part of the footwork is making sure we always start with our outside leg. Now, I'm going to talk about the forehand, but it's the exact same thing on the backhand. It's just opposite, and I'll explain that. So what that means is, with the outside leg, the first thing we're going to do, knowing that we're going to get a forehand return to serve, is that when I split, my first step is going to be with this leg going out to the ball and loading. It's really important. One of the biggest mistakes players make when they're trying to hit a return to serve is they constantly kind of step across trying to do this when the ball's coming really fast. Now, the reason why this is so important is by staying on the outside leg, it allows you to continue to adjust, and it also allows you to coil your upper half so you can create some power. If you step across, first of all, you're going to lose your balance because the ball may still be going and you can't adjust like this. Second of all, it makes it even harder to coil. If I coil, I'm facing away from the court. So those are the things you want to, that's why it's so important to make sure we're stepping with our outside leg. Now I'm going to go through the footwork, and then we're going to come back around and add it in to the swing. So we're going to have this nice wide base. We're going to split. We're going to step with the outside leg, okay? And then I'm going to not really go over the swing right now, but I just want to go over the legs. But I'm going to have my swing ready here, and then I'm gonna use my outside leg to push off. So I'm gonna push and then land on my inside leg. Again, wide base, split, outside leg, okay? I'm gonna push off, land, and then use this to recover into the court, okay? So that's the footwork portion. I'm having trouble talking today. That's the footwork portion of the return to serve. Now, when we look at the backhand, it's no different whether you're a one-handed backhand or a two-handed backhand player. If you're a two-handed, same thing, split, outside leg, you're gonna launch off that outside leg and then recover on the inside. If you're one-handed, same thing, split, outside leg here, launch off, land on the inside leg. Really important that when we take this step forward here, that we loaded our leg. We're not just taking a step sideways unless the ball really pushes us. We're trying to step slightly inside the court, loading this leg and pushing forward. When we're pushing forward, we also don't want to, what I call, take off. We want to land the airplane. So a lot of players, what they do when they return a serve, they pop up, okay? So I don't want to make sure I'm going here, and you see how I stayed pretty low compared to outside leg popping up, okay? The reason why this is so important is because since we have less time, and usually for a first serve, the ball's not going to bounce that high. It's going to stay low. So if we start lifting off, it's going to make it harder to get behind the ball and have that great racket face angle that we need to get a consistent return back. Now, I hope you like this video. If you do, give me a like below and look out for the up and coming part 2 to the serve return video. Go out and play tough. This is Kevin Garlington from TotalTennisDomination.com.